Hello, this is Kerri from Razor Sharp Crafts, and this video is a design team entry for Diemond dies. So I have created a couple, I've created two projects specifically for this design team call, and then I have one that I created just a couple weeks ago. Or maybe it's been more, it was within the last couple months maybe. I can't remember exactly. I just know it was this summer I made it. But it showcases what I can do with some dies or with a die, so I really want to show it as well. But the first two that I'm going to show I created specifically for this design team call. So my blog is razorsharpcrafts.blogspot.com. You can see some more of my stuff there, and I'm also on Instagram, and it's KJSharp82 on Instagram. And then this, of course, is my YouTube channel. I've just really gotten into the videotaping of my videos, or of my projects, so there's plenty more coming. But okay, so let's get started with the first project. So the first one that I created, and let me zoom in on that. Whoops, that's out. Is an ATC. I really enjoy making ATCs. I think they're fun and cute, and they make a nice little element that you can put into a mini album or on a scrapbook page or just send to a friend. Because you could cover your back and write a cute little message on it, and it would be great. So anywho, so these are artist trading cards, and they're 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. And so for this one, I started with a chipboard base, and then over my chipboard I put a white cardstock. It's the Paper Studio makes them. They're just ATC cards. I put that over the chipboard because my chipboard, when you apply like a medium or glue or paint to it, it's black, and so it kind of bleeds out a purple color. So I just put the cardstock over it to protect it. You could use any cardstock. You don't have to buy specific ATC cardstocks, but I just had them on hand, and I don't really use them because I like to make chipboard bases, so I just use them to cover the chipboard. So for mine, I put the cardstock down, and then I took some tissue paper and I stamped the tissue paper with this. I used this one, this stamp, and this stamp, and the bat. Where's the bat? And the little bat I used on it as well. But and it's Recollections, and doesn't really have a name, so I guess right there's the codes. But it's just a Halloween cling stamp. I found it on sale when I was in the States at, I think it was Michael's. So that's what I used. I stamped with Jet Black StazOn ink all over the tissue paper. And then just using Mod Podge matte, I adhered it down, and I left crinkles, like wrinkles and stuff in it, so it would add texture to the card. And then over top of that, I used it's the Crafter's Workshop Mini Branches Reversed. Right there's the code. And what I did was I took parts where it was like just really branchy, like that, so that you couldn't even tell it was a tree. And then I used my Textures Artichoked and Gritty Graphite, and just created like crackles. You can see them underneath the bat and stuff there, and you can see them here underneath that. And I also did the same thing across the head of the skull to create like a cracked skull look. So I did that for my background, and then this is just a piece of a box. It's just a piece of some cardboard, and I ripped one side of it off so it created that corrugated. And then on it I used Inca Gold's, I stuck with, how do you say, I think it's like hematite, something like that, hematite, but it's like a charcoal color, I guess. And I rubbed it along the edges of that corrugated cardboard and then along the corrugated part to create some texture and stuff on that. And then I also used it, I put it across the bat, and then I buffed it with a towel, which made it give it that nice shine. Let's see if we can get the, yeah, you can see the shine on it. I thought it looked really cool. Okay, so the bat and the skull are from Tim Holtz Alterations, Movers and Shapers, mini bat and mini skull set. Mini bat and skull. And I just cut them using chipboard. And then, so for the bat, like I say, I did him with the Inca Gold, and then I just used some 3D dots to keep him up off the, like, to give him his dimension. Oops, sorry. I always forget which way to go with the camera. So you can see he's kind of off there a little bit. And then for the skull, I used Faber-Castell Pit Artist Big Brush Pen, and it's the Green Gold 268, and I used that all over it. And then on the little bones, the crossbones, I used some Perfect Pearls Cappuccino to give it just a little different color. And then to make the skull grungy looking, I used the Pit Artist Big Brush Pen Dark Sepia. And on the mouth, whoops, on the mouth you can see it's got a little different coloration around there. My poor camera, it's like focus, unfocus, focus, unfocus. I used the Warm Gray 3. So, oh, and I also used, yeah, around the eye sockets, yeah, you can't really see it. I used the Warm Gray as well there. You can't see it as well, but okay, so that takes care of that. Alright, and back to the background, I used some Bob Ross Gray Gesso and just put some like streaks in there. A lot of it got covered up with everything, but there's just like, just to add a little bit to it back there. Okay, so I did that. That's just glued down with the hot glue gun. Okay, this is, where's that? Another Tim Holtz die, and it is his Tattered Banners. And I'm not sure which one I used, but I had cut them all out, and then I was just rolling with it. So that's the banner, and then I used the black StazOn ink again with this stamp set, and this is by Just Right Stamps, and this is their Marketplace Alpha stamps, and they're like pretty cool. Come with lots of cool stuff. So I use that to stamp Danger with, I believe I said it, but the black StazOn ink, and then around the borders, like on the edge here and all around the edges here, I just once again, or not once again, I didn't show this one yet, I used my Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen, big brush, black, $1.99, to just kind of outline the banner. And then the skull we covered. So, oh, again, on the background, I mixed it with some Lindy's Stamp Game Moon Mist. And this is Mystic, and I think it's Malachite. Malachite. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce it, but there's the spelling. And the skull, to prime it, I had used the Rob Ross white gesso. So lots of mixed media going on in this one. And then I used the 2 different dyes for the bat, the skull, and then the banner. So there is the finished product. I absolutely love this. I may just have to keep this one for myself instead of giving it away. So the next project is a little bit bigger, so we have to zoom out. This is an 8x10 canvas, and we have to zoom out a lot more. Wow. And I'll zoom it in for detail, or I'll just bring the canvas to the camera. So lots of stuff going on here. I used, like I say, it's an 8x10 canvas, and then I just used some different papers, and I just Mod Podged them to the canvas. I'm sorry for the noise in the background. My kids are downstairs playing. So, and then I did it on the edges, all the edges as well. So, there. Okay. So I'm kind of limited in I only have a few dyes right now. It's hard when I'm military overseas, and it's hard to, when you buy them and then paying so much for shipping, and I plan on stocking up. I plan on buying more, or stocking up when we go back stateside, just in case we get overseas again. Because even by the time you use like a 40 off coupon, then you pay the shipping, you're not really getting a discount. It's about what you would pay at regular price. So, if you just bought it at the store. Alright, so for this one, so I Mod Podged the papers down. And then I just used a couple different stamps, a honeycomb stamp and a script stamp, with some black stays on ink. And it's hard to even see them anymore. Right there is one of the honeycomb, and right there is some of the script. So they got kind of covered up. But just to add some texture to the background. And then again, I used my Rob Ross white gesso, and I just kind of put some gesso all over it after I had it covered. So, alright, let's see where to start. So like I say, my dies are limited. So this is a die cut that I bought off a friend, and it's a chipboard piece. So I used the Perfect Pearls Cappuccino again on this part, and then I used the Perfect Pearls Perfect Gold on the clock part. And then this is again one of the tattered banners. And so the title of this is Time to Create a Unique View. So then you can see Time to Create a Unique View. And I titled that like this because I used on this, my main focus was using this, this is where it gets funny, is it's a Tim Holtz die, but they call it a picture wheel. And I don't know if it's because of copyright issues or whatnot that they called it a picture wheel. But while I was growing up, it was a viewfinder. or maybe that was just the name of the thing you look through to see them. I don't know, but I've always just called them the viewfinder discs or whatever. So that's why I wanted the view, because the viewfinder view. So, and then I got the time with the clocks. So time to create a unique view. And I just went with unique because to me mixed media is very unique. So, alright, let's get into this. So there's another viewfinder wheel or picture wheel hidden back here, which I just kind of distressed it up with, what was the spray I used? It was a Lindy Stamp Gang Pirates Plunder Gold. And it's another Moon Shadow Mist. So I sprayed it with it just to kind of grunge it up a little bit, and then I put it under this. This is just some burlap. And I sprayed the burlap with the same spray. Okay, and then this is Tim Holtz book plate. And inside of it, I just used some rub-ons that I had onto a white piece of cardstock. And then I used Mod Podge Dimensional Magic. And it was actually really cool because it gave it that bluish hue that you see in there, which actually made it match like the bluish colored paper, which turned out to be an awesome change, you know, or what some people might see as a mishap. It turned out to be a great thing. So, the little words time to and A just come from the Tim Holtz Chit Chat stickers. And then I just outlined them with a black pen. And the 2 and the A are actually put on the little, these parts that got cut out. I use them here to, here to lift up the words and to make them kind of stick off the page a little bit better. And then I used again the, the black Pit Artist pen to outline these little white pieces. Okay, so where to next? So we've covered this and we've covered this, and then this is just some jute. I just tied it around here to make it all bunch up and everything. And then I thought it was cute to tie it in a little bow. Or I can actually untie it and just let it dangle as well, because that bow is not what's holding it anymore. I actually have a piece of jute underneath it that tied it tight, and I just thought it would be cute to have some dangling. Might end up adding some charms or something to this later. I don't know. Okay, so we've covered the 2 and the A, and this is just what is it, Junkyard Findings, I believe they're by Prima. Junkyard Findings. And then again, just another piece of chipboard, and, or not chipboard, cardboard. And then I just used a couple different alcohol inks on it to make it all grungy looking. This little yellow arrow, this is just a wood piece that I had. I don't even know where it came from, to be honest. But on it, I used my Shimmer's Pearls, and it's in Sunny Side Up. And that's what gave it the yellow color. And then to grunge it a little bit, I actually used Shimmer's Shimmers. And I say Shimmers because these are all made by, the company's name is Shimmers. But then this line is called Shimmers as well. And this is Ultramarine. And that gave it the little grunge look. And then this little flourish, which is actually another die cut chipboard piece that I bought off a friend. I also colored with the Shimmers Ultramarine. So, okay. And then this little metal piece and this gem are just some recollections that I bought at Michael's. They had a whole bunch of them on sale when I was there, so I bought a whole bunch of metal pieces. And this is also just a recollections piece from one of those box kits. And then I have this little white teardrop shape. I'm not even sure what they call them. It's dangly, because it's got a little place where you can dangle it at the top. I just kind of shoved that under there. And then this flower, and this flower are actually all made of Udi. I poured them in this little mold I bought on Etsy, and it's just clear Udi, and I poured it in there and let it dry, and then I popped them out, or cool, I guess. And then I painted them with this, and this is actually, it's Viva Decor's precious metal paint. I'm, like I said earlier, military family stationed in Germany, and I bought this at a German craft store, so that's why it is in German. But it is red. Somewhere on there it's got the German word for red, but it's just their red paint. So I use that to paint them, and those were the finished product. I thought they looked awesome. I made a whole bunch of them at once, and just that way I just have them on hand. And then this is just some trim that I got in a kit at one point that I didn't end up using. And then I kind of cut it up and used it here and here as well. And these are just some little sprays that I had in my stash, and I just kind of adhered them on. I used the E6000 to glue them on, and then on the side here I just twirled up their stems, made them a little twirly thing like you do with the stems of flowers. So this is just another Recollections piece. And then the wings are from Tim Holtz, which I'm sure you probably realize, or recognize, sorry. Another Recollections piece. These are actually cork letters, or sticky back cork letters, and they're from Spare Parts. And I forgot to mention on the background, I used, it's another Crafter's Workshop, and this one is Mini Time Travel, and it's the clocks, and I used a couple of them with my Shimmers, Paints, Textures patina, and Sandy Stone, which is actually like a brownish pink type color. And let's see here. You can kind of see it behind the clock there. You can really see it behind the sprays. And I think, yeah, the other big one was behind here. And I think there's another, so I kind of covered a lot of them up. That's part of mixed media though, right? So, okay. And then this, like I said, is the Tim Holtz picture wheel die. And I had cut it out earlier in black chipboard, and I messed them up. So what I ended up doing is I used cereal box chipboard, covered it in white texture paper, and cut it out then. But what it ended up being great, because as I was looking at it, I'm like, what am I going to do with the holes? And then I looked at a picture of one of the like the regular viewfinder discs, and the spots with the holes, they actually just kind of look black until you're looking through them through the viewfinder. So I took the pieces that cut out of the black ones and fitted them into the white ones and got that look. And then these are some just wooden embellishments that I had bought off of a friend, and I colored in the letters because they don't come colored in like that. I colored them in with my Pit Artist big brush black pen, so that way that the letters would stand out a little better. And then this is just a butterfly that I had in my stash. And on the sides, they just have some of the textures in the sandy stone and the patina. I just kind of globbed them on in places, gave it a really nice texture and look to it. So So in this one I used the tattered banners and the picture wheel dies, and then just created a nice little mixed media collage. And I think I covered everything. Yeah. So that's my second project. Oh, no, I didn't cover everything. Along my edges, you can see it better on this edge, I used a black gelato. And I just kind of scrubbed it on and then used my finger with a little bit of water on my finger to just kind of blend it out. And I did it everywhere that you can see an edge. So. So the metal pieces were held on with E6000 and a little bit of hot glue. The hot glue basically could, because it dries instantly, to hold it in place while the E6000 dries. So there we have that. So yes, that will be it for that one. I'm just kind of looking it over again to make sure I didn't forget to explain anything. If I did and you're looking at it going, hey, what did you do there? Just comment and I'll let you know what I did. Okay, so this next project, like I said, I created it sometime this summer. I thought it was a couple weeks ago, but now that I'm thinking about it, I think it may have been back in June. But either way, it's still kind of a recent project. But I really wanted to show it because it really showcases like what I could do with a die. And that's, this company is, they make dies, so this is, and I'm going to show you first, this is the die that I used, and this is the only die I used. And it's just the caged bird, and it's the big one. And I used it to create this. Now, I'm holding it like this just to show you that it's a hanging piece. And it's three-dimensional. And the bird hangs in the inside. I should have probably figured out a different way to do my camera view, but this is the way I have my camera set up for my crafting, so that everybody gets the same view I do as I craft. So, on this, what I did, and this one's already up on my blog. I added it a week or so ago. But what I did with this is I cut the bird cage out 4 times. And then I cut the bird out once and his wing out twice. All out of medium weight chipboard. Okay? Then I painted, I'm going to lay it on its side so you can kind of see it instead of make it stand up. And then I painted all of the pieces with Tim Holtz Distress Paint Rusty Hinge. And just let them dry. I painted them front and back and let them dry. Sometimes I have to just let stuff dry because a lot of times I craft after my kids are in bed. And my room's right out, or my craft room's right outside their rooms. So my heat gun's a little loud, so I don't want to wake them. Because that would end my crafting time, right? So a lot of times I just let stuff air dry and I work on something else while stuff's drying. So anyways, and then on the sides of the cage, just to add some texture and some like, I don't know, I was kind of going for like a rusty, like when you find something it's got that rusty gritty feeling to it. So I used, again, it's Textures, Shimmers Textures, and I used the gritty graphite and the crushed coral, which is like a pink color. And this stuff, if you haven't seen it, it is definitely worth buying. Gosh, I can't get a good light for you. I got the sun starting to come in my window, so it's killing my light. But it's really gritty. It's almost like it's like a paste that's got like sand in it or something. It's really cool. So I just kind of did that around it, and the graphite's more around the bottom. I was going for like it'd been sitting in water or something look. But then I ended up wanting to put this lace on it. This is just lace that I had in my stash. And then here again is the UD Flowers covered with the Viva Decor Precious Metal paint. And I'm sorry, I'm a little irritated that the light's coming in like that because it's really killing my video. And then these flowers are just some flowers I bought online. I bought them like in bulk. And then I just wrapped the stems around where the cages meet on every side. And that's not what's holding them together. I'm just going to go over my embellishments first and then I'll explain how I put it together. And then just another spray. A little butterfly I had in my stash. Another butterfly I had in my stash. This is an actual, straight from the Czech Republic, I guess they're hand-blown, handmade glass bead. My husband and I have a friend from the Czech Republic that comes down, he comes down here every couple months, and his girlfriend and her twin sister make these, and they gave me like a whole bunch of them for my birthday last year. So, and that was a little ladybug, and you can see that it's a bead. His mouth is the hole, but I thought it was just too cute to just put on there. And that covers all the embellishments. Alright, and then for the bird, and I'm sorry, but you can't see him in there that well. But I colored him, or her, whatever your preference, with Inca Gold, Viva Decor Inca Gold Lava Red, and I think the belly was platinum. Easy way to find out. Yeah, the belly was platinum. And then his legs were orange. Legs and beak were orange. And the branch he's standing on was copper. So I'll show him again so you can kind of see. It's hard to tell the difference in his legs and the branch. And then that black line that you see on there, I'm sorry, I should have got this one out because it's at the very bottom of my stack, is the Shimmer's Dazzlers. And this is licorice stick. And this stuff's like a nice slimy paint. And these work awesome with masks as well. The Dazzlers do. So that's what I used for his eye and to define his wing and his belly a little bit. So okay, so what I did is I took the chipboard pieces and I actually used this quick dry adhesive because I'm not the best with the glue gun. It always seems like it dries quicker than I can put it down or put it together or however it needs to go. So I decided to go that way. And then what I did is I just put it on like the back side of this one and this is this side. I'd put it on the edge of it and then just attach it to the back of this side, and I just held it because it kind of does actually really dry quickly. So I just did that on each side. And just held it till it was dry, and then I actually did, like these roses, I say that's not holding it together, but I did wrap them around really tightly so it would hold them even longer until they were like dry, completely dried. Now you'll notice, like when you cut this, here's the little sample one that comes, you just pull out this little sample that usually comes with the dies, at least with Tim Holtz and Sizzix. It's got that little knob thingy on the top, like when you cut this die out. And I just cut those all off. And then I bent them in. And you have to be very careful, especially with it being painted, because you don't want to crack your paint. But I just very, very carefully bent them in. And I bent two sides together first. And if you look, they're actually together with a jump ring. And then I just kind of pushed down on them and bent these sides in together and held them with another jump ring. and hung it from a clasp. But what I also did is I used some of the same glue on these sides. And you'll notice some of them, like the jump ring is still there. I used the jump ring to hold the sides together while they were drying a little bit. And then I just left them on there because I thought it added a nice little, I don't know, a little element to it. And then the bottom is just a piece of chipboard that I cut to size, rounded the edges, and painted the same way. Oh, and on this one I used, like if you can kind of see the shimmer on it, I used Lindy Stamp Gain Mood Shadow Mist Gossamer Gold. Gossamer Gold, I think is how it's pronounced. You can really see it on the bottom. Maybe not on the camera. But then, to create to make it look like actual birdcage, I used some Tim Holtz tissue tape across the bottom of it to make it look like newspaper in there. And I actually had a friend joke and say I should have like dropped some white gesso or paint in there to make it look like bird poop. But I was like, I didn't want to go that far. And my birdie's stuck. So, oh, and the bird is just hung with a Tim Holtz swivel clasp, the same as the whole thing is hung with. It's just, I just cut the chain to make it the length I needed to fit in there. There, you can kind of see the swivel clasp. There it is. So that is what I did with that. And I think I've explained everything that's on there. So if there's any questions, this little birdcage I think is one of my favorite projects that I've done. It's a really outside the box project, and it just turned out so cute. Now I just need to find a place to hang it. So there you have it. So this is these are my submissions for the Diamond Dies design team, and their call is open through I know it's midnight tonight, the 25th, but I'm not sure which time zone. Because I'm in a completely different time zone, so I would have it loaded long before the call. Hold on a second. Midnight. Sorry for the screaming. Like I say, my little man. Yeah, I'm not sure. I just know it's midnight tonight. So it's still open if you want to put in for it. So I hope they enjoy my projects, and I hope you all enjoyed my projects as well. And so I will close this video for now. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.